Power hour here at Bridger Bowl, and you know what that means. Time for our 3 o'clock puff. Got 3 ridge hikes today. I'm over here. Somewhere between the nose and D route. I don't really even know where I'm at, honestly. But that's to be expected. That'll happen. That should help. I just went to go take my skis off. I took my skis off, stepped, and literally went up to my waist in snow. That's how much snow there is. And this is a kind of a less traveled area, I guess. Off the beaten path, I guess you could say. Well, it's late February in Bridger Bowl, Montana, and we've been blessed with a lot of snow. It's been piling up. I don't even know what the base is, but it's enough. I'll tell you that much. Today I want to tell you a story about a hitchhiking ride I had 2 years ago. Got picked up by this, I don't know, it was some sort of a small rental car type car, tiny car, 2-wheel drive. Can't remember what kind, maybe a Hyundai. Anyway, it turns out it was this woman named Maria who had grown up in Puerto Rico, and then at 2 she'd moved with her family to New York City. And for the past 62 years she had lived in one of the 5 boroughs. Had only been out of the city 2 times in her entire life. Well, Maria had booked herself, turns out, a 10-day trip to Montana, a place she'd only read about and seen photos of. Now, she got her driver's license. Actually, well, she had to have had one to rent a car, but let's just say it was pretty clear early on in the ride that Maria either had never driven a car before, or maybe you could count them on one hand. And so she's winding us up the Bridger Canyon at 20 miles an hour in a 70 on dry roads. And I look in the rearview mirror and we got cars all the way back to Bozeman. And Maria tells me, a story about living in New York City her whole life. And then as we get deeper into the mountains, around every curve, she just starts raving about how beautiful. It's just breathtaking. It's just, wow, look at those. Oh. And I started to see the whole thing from Maria's eyes, a ride that I taken thousands of times, and I started to see it through her eyes, and I didn't care that we were going 20 miles an hour. I knew we'd get there eventually, but it was so fun to just see the euphoria in Maria's eyes. And so anyway, she gets us to Bridger Bowl. It was a powder day, so there's a lot of cars parking lot was full all the way to the bottom. And Maria says, I'm going to the top. So she takes us to the top lot and then proceeds to create a parking spot in a snowbank, wedging this small rental car up into this snowbank to the point where she had to get out of the passenger side door because she couldn't even open the driver's side door. And so I'm helping her get across the console, and she's stuck on the console, and she starts laughing so hard she's crying. And she finally we get her out of the car onto the ground, and she is laughing so hard. She's just having the best time of her life. And we both stand up and look at the car that's just completely wedged into a snowbank, just not a parking spot in the least. And Maria goes, is that okay? I said, well, Maria, did you get the insurance on this thing? So that was my Maria story. I hope she had a good rest of her trip and made it around safely. She was going to Yellowstone. She was going to a few other places. She was here for 10 days. So it's always fun. It's one thing I love about hitchhiking is people who are on vacation or on a trip through pick you up and you start to see the whole situation from fresh eyes, and it's one of the reasons I like hitchhiking. Today I got picked up by a guy from the UK who married a girl from Great Falls, and yeah, he's a nice guy. He lived in cities all over the world, lived in Africa for 5 years, and he's been in Bozeman for 5 years. And said, have you lived in any other cities in the U.S.? I said, nope, just Bozeman. I said, well, you picked a good spot. But anyway, it's been a good day up here. Pretty quiet Thursday afternoon.